Good day everyone, I am Queenie Soriano, the leader of the research team.
Together with my team members, Mr. Carion Vincent, Ms. Galupo Angelica, Ms. Lianyo Ashley Eliza, Mr. Obsiana Emmanuel, and lastly, Mr. San Roque Mark Angelo. Members of the panel of examiners, chaired by Dr. Donato Gallego and Dr. Yolanda Gadon, our college administrator, with the team composed of Dr. Gina Señora, Engineer Florino Oiga, Dr. Lida Bergantinos, Ms. Mary Grace Magana, Ms. Mary Joy Tividad, and of course, Dean Maricel Mauricio.
Are present here today to present to all of you the result of our research study entitled Decorative Side Table Made from Shiba Pentandra Fruit or Kapok Fruit. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. Once again, good day. Introduction. Decorative side table help the consumer to be comfortable, organizing according to our needs and practical needed to our home. The usual or common decorative side table is attacked by termites because it is made of wood. It is also very expensive because it is made of non-recyclable materials, which affects the abuses in our environment. The researchers find out and study the kapok for alternative decorative side table. The researchers study how to reuse the kapok. It is eco-friendly materials, much cheaper, and it is strong enough for alternative decorative side table. Since it is good for improvising, the researchers will able to show the unique and different way in using in terms of creating a valuable decorative side table. It is helpful to us, also to our environment, because kapok is naturally not chemically treated. It is safe to us, to our house. Good quality fiber can survive in a long term and useful to us while considering the durability and protection of our environment. Researchers decided to use epoxy resin and a hardener to prevent termites that often damage the usual or common side table. Epoxy resin and hardener coating offers excellent to keep termites away. For the side table legs and frame, the researchers used galvanized iron to achieve a cheaper product with good quality, and the researchers coated epoxy primer on galvanized iron to prevent rust. The purpose of this scripted and experimental study provides information about kapok, which very practical to create a new innovative decorative side table and as useful substitute using the eco-friendly materials to help the residents and the environment. Statement of the problem. This research study aims to determine the level of acceptability of the decorative side table made from Shiba Pentandra fruit or kapok fruit as perceived by the respondent. Specifically, this study seeks to answer the following question. Number 1, what is demographic profile of the respondent in terms of 1.1 age, 1.2 gender? Number 2, what is the level of acceptability of the decorative side table made from Shiba Pentandra fruit or kapok fruit as perceived by the respondents in terms of 2.1 affordability, 2.2 design, and 2.3 durability? Number 3, is there significant difference in the level of acceptability of the decorative side table made from Shiba Pentandra fruit or kapok fruit in terms of affordability, design, and durability as perceived by the respondents when their profile is considered? Hypothesis. There is no significant difference in the level of acceptability of decorative side table made from Shiba Pentandra fruit or kapok fruit in terms of affordability, design, and durability as perceived by the respondents when their profile is considered.
Research design. The researchers used the descriptive experimental method research approach to gather data from the respondents and their insights about the product, decorative side table made from Shiba Pentandra fruit or kapok fruit. Descriptive research refers to the method that describes the characteristics of the variables under study. This methodology focuses on answering questions relating to what than the why of the research subject. The experimental involves manipulating one variable to determine if changes in one variable cause changes in another variable. This method relies on control methods, random assignment, and manipulation of the variables to test a hypothesis. The researchers conduct a survey to gather information. It focused on the citizens and different people in the community of Valenzuela City and were given survey forms that were filled out and answered. Precisely, the researchers interviewed 30 of the local residents of Barangay Maysan, Valenzuela City. Research local. The setting of the study was located at Barangay Maysan, Valenzuela City. The respondents were composed of 30 individuals who live in Barangay Maysan, Valenzuela City to test the product. respondents of the study. The researchers of the study used to purposive random sampling that was conducted with 33 respondents by the means of face-to-face and were distributed in Barangay Maysan, Valenzuela City, and also consider the demographic profile of the respondents contains of the residents, customers, and students. They were able to evaluate properly the given sample of product based on their observation. Instrumentation. The researchers used a face-to-face survey questionnaire as an instrument to gather information about the acceptability of decorative side table made from Shiba pentandra fruit or kapok fruit. The researchers will use a purposive sampling that may help the researchers to find and locate the suit person for our product, and for the right judgment of the product determine if it is success and if it will be used as decorative side table. This instrument will help the researchers to determine the affordability, design, and durability.
Data gathering procedure. A request letter for conducting research was prepared. The researcher constructed a questionnaire confirmed by the professor and distributed the questionnaire due to the advantages of the survey method. The researchers conducted a survey in Barangay Maysan in Valenzuela City of Metro Manila. The researcher explained to the respondents the importance of their response to the research. The researchers clarified some terminology to the respondents so that the interviewees can answer the question with a full understanding of their responsibilities as the research object. The researcher asked the interviewer to answer with an honest attitude. In this study, the goal of the researcher is to determine the level of acceptability of the decorative side table made from Shiba pentandra fruit or kapok fruit. The researchers believe that this method is the most suitable method for selecting research samples. After the respondent answered the questionnaire, the researcher collected and calculated the data for interpretation. The researchers asked the statistician to help determine the appropriate statistical tools to interpret the data. Based on the data, the researchers drew the conclusion and documentation of the study. Statistical treatment of the data. 1. Percentage. The use of percentage distribution is applied to find the answer to the questionnaires checklist profile form. Formula. P is equal to F over N times 100. 2. Weighted mean was used to measure the general responses of the survey whether the product is acceptable. Formula. Wm is equal to summation of F times W over N. 3. Chi-square test. This is to test the significant difference of the level of acceptability of the product by considering the demographic profile of the respondents. Formula. X squared is equal to summation of O minus E squared over E. Expected frequency. An expected frequency is computed by multiplying the probability that an event occur by the total number of possible times that the event could occur. Expected frequency are calculated for each cell in a contingency table. Formula. E is equal to RT times CT over OT. Degrees of freedom. It refers to the number of values in the final calculation of a statistic that are free to vary. Degrees of freedom are utilized to determine if a certain null hypothesis can be based on the total number of the variables and samples with the experiment. Formula. DF is equal to R minus 1 times C minus 1.
Demographic profile of the respondents. Table 1.1 presents the profile of the respondents in terms of age. Age 21 to 25 have 7 respondents, which corresponds to 23% of total respondents. Ages 26 to 30 have 6 respondents or 20%, and 31 and above has 17 respondents, which corresponds to 57% of the total respondents. This implies that the majority of the respondents subjected to the study were from the age of 31 and above. Table 1.2 presents the profile of the respondents in terms of gender. There are 18 male respondents, which correspond to 60% of the total selected respondents, and 12 female respondents with a percentage of 40%. This shows that most of the respondents are male. The level of the acceptability of the decorative side tables made from Shiba pentandra fruit or kapok fruit as perceived by the respondents in terms of affordability, design, and durability. Table 2.1 summary of the level of acceptability of the decorative side table made from Shiba pentandra fruit or kapok fruit. The indicator affordability obtained a 4.65 average weighted mean, which has interpreted as highly acceptable. The indicator design obtained a 4.65 average weighted mean, which was interpreted as highly acceptable. The indicator durability obtained a 4.67 average weighted mean, which was interpreted as highly acceptable. The result shows that the level of acceptability in the decorative side table may Sheba pentandra fruit or kapok fruit is acceptable as perceived by the respondents. Significance difference of the level of acceptability in the decorative side table may Sheba pentandra fruit or kapok fruit as perceived by the respondents in terms of affordability, design, and durability when their profile is considered. Table 3.1 significant difference in the level of acceptability of decorative side table may Sheba pentandra or kapok fruit as perceived by the respondents when their age is considered. Affordability obtained a chi-square computed value of 5.269 with a degree of 1 and a tabular of 9.348 at 0.05 level of significance. Since the computed value was less than the tabular value, the decision was to accept the null hypothesis. There was no significant difference on the level of acceptability of decorative side table may Sheba pentandra or kapok fruit as perceived by the respondents when their gender was considered. Design obtained a chi-square computed value of 3.6741 with a degree of 1 and a tabular of 9.348 at 0.05 level of significance. Since the computed was less than a tabular value, the decision was to accept the null hypothesis. There was no significant difference on the level of acceptability of the decorative side table may Sheba pentandra or kapok fruit as perceived by the respondents when their age was considered. Durability obtained a chi-square computed value of 5.8455 with a degree of 1 and a tabular of 9.348 at 0.05 level of significance. Since the computed value was less than the tabular value, the decision was to accept the null hypothesis. There was no significant difference on the level of acceptability of the decorative side table may Sheba pentandra or kapok fruit as perceived by the respondents when their age was considered. Table 3.2 significance difference in the level of acceptability of the decorative side table made by Sheba pentandra or kapok fruit as the respondents when their gender is considered. Affordability obtained a chi-square computed value of 1.969 with a degree of 2 and a tabular of 5.991 at 0.05 level of significance. Since the computed value was less than the tabular value, the decision was to accept the null hypothesis. There was no significant difference on the level of acceptability of the decorative side table made by Sheba pentandra or kapok fruit as perceived by the respondents when their gender was considered. Design obtained a chi-square computed value of 6.701 with a degree of 2 and a tabular of 5.991 at 0.05 level of significance. Since the computed value was less than the tabular value, the decision was to accept the null hypothesis. There was no significant difference on the level of acceptability of the decorative side table made by Sheba pentandra or kapok fruit as perceived by the respondents when their gender was considered. Durability obtained a chi-square computed value of 0.5 with a degree of 1 and a tabular of 5.991 at 0.05 level of significance. Since the computed value was less than the tabular value, the decision was to accept the null hypothesis. There was no significant difference on the level of acceptability of the decorative side table made by Sheba pentandra or kapok fruit as perceived by the respondents when their gender was considered.
The researchers concluded the age of the most respondent is from 31 years old above with 17 respondents, followed by ages 21 to 25 years old with 7 respondents, and the ages that has least of respondent is 26 to 30 years old with 6 respondents. Most of the respondents came from male 18 respondents, followed by 12 respondents with a total of 30 respondents. Based on the result of the level of acceptability of decorative side table made from Sheba pentandra fruit in terms of affordability, design, and durability get a general weighted mean of 4.67. Therefore, in terms of affordability, design, and durability are acceptable by the respondent. As the result, the chi-square computed value of the three indicators are less than tabular value. Therefore, the null hypothesis is accepted. This means that there is no significant difference in the level of acceptability of decorative side table made from Sheba pentandra fruit as perceived by the respondents in terms of affordability, design, and durability when their demographic profile, such as age and gender, was considered.
Recommendation: the researchers still recommend Sheba pentandra fruit or kapok fruit to the residents as an individual materials in decorative side table. Recommendation: the researchers highly recommended the product because it can be availed by everyone because it's very affordable with good appearance, made from eco-friendly environment and good for long terms of strength. Recommendation for the future researchers that will conduct about decorative side table study, they can upgrade or innovate their product design or materials used to make it more accessible to all.
This ends our group presentation on the research study entitled Decorative Side Table made from Shiba Pentandra. Our group is now ready for clarification, discussion, and interrogation. Thank you very much and magandang buhay.